Sure.
All right. So feel free to butt in if you have questions. Um, Today is more of like an orientation of how I do things online. It's not easy to teach IELTS online. um, although, yeah, because there's so many things that students preparing for IELTS need to know. Okay, depending on where you are right now, what your starting proficiency is in terms of IELTS, and what your target scores are. All right. So since this is your first time to be taking IELTS, I'd like to know if you've answered. Oh yeah, Jalo already answered this question before. um, I wanted to know, Bubukar, if you've tried answering a full IELTS test, the academic test.
No, I think I do separate parts, not the full IELTS test.
I see. So you have no idea of the level of difficulty of the IELTS, how easy or how difficult it is to attain a band score of 7. No idea?
No,
All right.
no.
Okay, so today we'll also be discussing assessment. I always begin any of my training program with an assessment for different reasons. One, I'd like for my students to experience the IELTS test. Okay, so it's a simulation. Hopefully, you'll be able to simulate the test on your own. However, this is the paper-based version. I'm not sure if in your area, in your country, you have the computer-based.
We don't have IELTS in the Gambia actually. You have to travel to Senegal in Dakar to do it. But I think they do both the paper based and the computer based.
I see. Okay. All right. Um, I'd like for you to be ready with a notebook or some paper and a pen to take down notes. Okay. There's a lot of things that I'll be, yeah, that you need to take note of. All right. So first of all, I'd like to share my screen. Let me know when you see my screen. Bubakar, do you see my screen?
Yes, I do.
How about
Yes, I do.
you, Jalo? All right. What you're seeing right now, okay, is are actually my Google Drives. I have several drives. Um, this is Ria Hilis. I'm using my email Ria Hilis here. In the Philippines, my nickname is Ria because my full name is Anna Maria. But students, when they see my name, they usually call me with my first name, Anna. So I just continued using that screen name, Anna. But you may call me Anna or Ria. Yeah, whatever. But actually, none of my students call me prof or professor. Only my students from your country call me prof. Why is that? Can you explain that to me?
Okay, for us, we do have this culture of giving respect. So even our lecturers, we don't call them by their name. We call them Mister, or we call you. Yeah, most of the time we add the Mister there, Mr.
Mm.
Jalo or Mr. Ba.
I
Yeah, that's
see.
what we
I
call them.
see. Okay. But because you're preparing for IELTS, um, IELTS is, there's politics involved here. Okay, cultural politics. IELTS is a test owned by the Western people. Australians, UK, they don't say Mr. or Miss or Prof, or they just call each other by first name. So that's the culture with IELTS. Okay, so yeah, get used to it. All right. Yeah, call me Anna. okay? Or call each other with your first names, if it's okay with you.
Okay, no.
Of course, no problem.
All right. There's another Google Drive that I use. The email I use here is your online IELTS tutor at gmail.com. Okay. And then there's another one. This one is books and kicks at gmail.com. Right. Let's discuss them one by one. Okay. First, let's go to this drive. So here, this folder here, IELTS ANA preparation materials for students. This is the one that I share to my students. Are you guys familiar with the use of Google Drive or Google Suites?
No, I am not. I'm not. I don't know Bubakar, but I'm not.
All right. It's easy to go there. If you're not familiar, you may do this. Simply type in Google or google.com. You may do that. Make sure that you are logged in with the email that you sent to me. Okay, you see the dots here. Click on that. This is, of course, if you are in a desktop or a laptop. Okay, and then just look for Drive. This is the icon for Google Drive. Okay, click on that. And on the leftmost, you will see my drive, computers shared with me. So everything that I will share to you, okay, you will find in on your end in the shared with me folder. Okay, but on my end, it's in my drive. All right, or you may simply type drive.google.com. Don't worry, because when I share this to you, you will get a notification in your Gmail. All right, and all you need to
Okay.
do is click on it. Okay, and if you're quite lost, message me. Okay. So what
Okay.
I'm gonna do is I'm going to share all of these materials to you. So, and then after our class today, when you have time, maybe tomorrow, I want you to browse each of the folders here. Okay, so there's an introduction, disregard training policies and guidelines. There's a folder for each of the subtests, speaking, listening, reading. So you're taking academic, so disregard anything labeled as general training. Okay, writing task 2, and then you have supplementary materials, grammar, vocabulary, and then there's also tools that you can use for practice, answer sheets, okay? Practice materials, ebooks. This one for the assessment. So here you will find instructions for assessment, okay? So let me share this folder to you right now. You may, by the way, download the Google Drive app on your phone or whatever device that you use for accessing the internet. Uba, let's start with Chalo. Chalo, this is your email, right?
Yes, that's my email.
Okay, there, viewer. So if you check your Drive shared with me folder, you should be able to see this folder. Okay, can you do it right now and see if yeah, you have access to this folder? And
Okay.
then next, so same with you, Bubakar. Kindly check your Google Drive, see if you have access to this folder, IELTS Anna.
Okay.
I've seen mine.
Okay, how about you, Bubakar?
Okay, I've also seen mine.
Okay. Okay, next. I'll also be sharing with you. I haven't uploaded Cambridge 16. These are what I have here are Cambridge 1 to 15. Okay. Yeah. I'll share with you Cambridge 16 later. Are you familiar with the IELTS Cambridge books? I guess,
Yes.
Chalo, you are. Okay, this is, you said, you told me you have Cambridge 9.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have, I think, up to Cambridge 13, I think.
Mm.
We both do, I believe.
Oh, okay. So,
Let him speak. I believe he does, except if he lost it. We all have the same materials then. I'm not sure though.
okay,
No,
nevertheless, yeah.
I'm having few of them, but it's not up to 13.
Okay. I'm sharing Cambridge to you because these are official books released by one of the owners of IELTS, Cambridge. So there are three owners of the IELTS test: British Council, IDP Australia, and the test makers, Cambridge. All right. There are many practice materials and resources available online, and some of them are actually good for practice and developing skills for IELTS. But in terms of how can I say this? In terms of you know, the the actual structure and level of difficulty of the test, I only trust, of course, the standard materials. So Cambridge or anything published by British Council or IDP are standard materials. So these are good for practice. However, as I've explained to Jalo before, the tests actually differ. The test structure differ, the level of difficulty of the tests from, if you compare, let's say C1, Cambridge 1 versus Cambridge 15, okay, they're not the same anymore. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the latest materials released by Cambridge. So let's take a look. This is Cambridge 15 academic, and you see there the ebook. So what you can do is download the entire book and just print out whatever you need. Okay, you don't have to print out everything. As you can see here, for this particular book, there are 147 pages. You don't need all of them. Just print out the tests that you need. Okay, each book has, I'm not sure if all of them have 4 sets each. So as you can see here, test 1, okay, that's listening, reading, writing, and speaking. And then another set, test 2, test 3, test 4, and so on. So try to browse the materials up until the end, because They're very important. At the end of each ebook, you will find the listening and reading answer keys here. All right. For listening, there are also audio scripts. Okay. Audio scripts, usually my students, for many of my students, they skip the audio scripts. They do not read them, but I would recommend that you read them so that you would understand the listening test. Yeah, you would understand the listening test, the answers, why, yeah, the grammar of the listening test and the reading test as well, and where you can find them. Yeah. There you go. So study the audio scripts as well. The sample writing, I don't really recommend them because not all of them are aiming for band 7. Okay, so you might write like this, but that's actually just a band 6. So aim for, I'll be teaching you how to write, well, some strategies aiming for band 8, so that whatever happens on test day, you have a fallback. That's one of the differences of my training strategy now, methodology now, as compared to, well, years ago. Before, I would just aim for 7. And the tendency of the candidates or the student is that they try to write based on band 7 band score, and then they mess up on test day. So what happens is that they only get 6.5 or 6. So I tried to think of ways to help the student and assure that they get a band 7. All right, I'll tell you more about band 7 writing, because next time, okay, when we go to the writing lecture, usually this is the area or the subtest that nurses bound for the UK fail in. There's actually no pass or fail in IELTS, okay, because it simply measures your English proficiency. But then because you're aiming for band 7, and most of my students, they get 6 or 6.5, I mean, most of my nurses. So in effect, they failed the test and they have to retake it again. Are you guys following?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay. Before I forget, let me share the materials to you. Viewer. Okay. Jalo. Oh, Jalo. Isn't your wife joining us today? Oh, it's not you. Sorry.
No.
Wrong person. Sorry. I was referring to.
That is Saliu.
Yeah, yeah. Do you guys work in the same hospital? Or do you work in the hospital? Where do you guys work?
Actually, we were working in a health center.
Health center. Both of you work
Yes.
in the same health center?
No, a different one, but we were in the same region.
I see. Okay. Later on, I'll get to know you guys when we go to the speaking test, okay?
Sure.
All right. What I want you to do now is check your drive and see if you got, yeah, all these materials. So each folder here has an ebook and the audios, okay? And because Google Drive actually blocks, these materials are copyright materials. So the tendency of Google is to block students' access. All right, so what I want you to do is, as soon as you see all these materials here, download them right away. Okay, you may simply click on the main folder, click on the arrow down and look for download. Okay, one click and everything gets downloaded to your device. Or you can download them one by one. Okay, there, download. Right click, download. Right? Because after a few days, maybe after a week, I'm going to unshare these materials. All right, so just make sure that you download all these within the next 2 days. Okay, questions so far?
I'm using my mobile phone, and
Oh,
yes, I'm trying to go to the part where you say download. But I was not looking.
that's
I wasn't.
okay. You
Yeah.
can
So
download using, or maybe you can do it tomorrow.
yeah, but I need the know-how before doing it tomorrow.
All right,
I'm trying to see the download part of it, which I cannot see yet.
let me
Uh,
see. I'm
okay.
holding my,
I,
you have to download the Drive app, Google Drive app on
yeah,
your phone.
I have that. I have
You
that.
have it, okay.
Uh,
But
Mm,
we are not seeing the download part of the material. Even me, I'm not seeing this.
sorry.
boy.
Let me see. I'm in my Drive right now. Look for shared with me. Sorry,
Mhm.
shared. On the lower, on the lower part of your screen, you will see the shared icon.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So explore the app and then, yeah, the app is more difficult.
Exactly.
Let me see. You look for, so once you see the folder that you want to download or the file, on the rightmost part of your screen, you will see 3
Dots.
vertical dots. Yeah, you should see there. Why don't I see a download
Mm,
app?
exactly. There's nothing like download.
Hmm.
Okay, the problem is
But
for my app, I have other materials there which I can download, but for your material, I have not seen the download button.
uh,
Let me see.
well. The issue is you cannot download when it comes to the folder. The download option does not appear. But if you open the folder and go to the a single file, you see the download option, which means you have to go one by one file after the other to download all of this, and that is going to take a lot of time.
Yeah. Or one of you can download and then
And,
you just share.
yes, maybe after this, I might try using the computer and see
Yeah.
if I think that's going to be more easy.
It's much better, yeah, to use
Mm,
the computer. Why? First of all, or any device with a bigger screen,
mhm.
because IELTS is text heavy. It's
Yeah,
difficult to read using your cell phone. Yeah.
definitely.
Mhm. And sometimes my students would complain, how come my scores in reading are not improving? I said, why? Okay, tell me, how did you take it? What device did you use? Did you print it out, etc., etc.? And then I find out that they do not apply the test taking skills required of them. First of all, if you're taking paper-based tests, you need to print out the test that you're answering. And then you need to mark your question paper. Okay, mark with a pencil, underline and circle keywords, write down notes, and so on. Okay, you're allowed to write on your question paper. And then within the time frame, you'll need to transfer all your answers to the answer sheet. That's why I share the answer sheets to you, so that you'll get used to them. Okay. So here. This is the answer sheet for listening and reading are, well, they're almost the same. Okay. This is how it looks like. I think they have a new version nowadays, but basically the same. The listening test is 40 items. Oops. There. So there are two columns. First column is 1 to 20, and then second column is 21 to 40. Okay. Here you'll need to enter your details and to mark these boxes here. Okay, day, month, your center number. What else do we have here? Okay. And then at the bottom, this is where, okay, examiners or write the total, equivalent band score, marker initials. So two people will be looking at your answers, okay, and verify them. That's for listening. Reading is the same, actually. There you go. Module. So you are taking academics, so you have to shade the box. For writing, new IELTS writing answer sheets. Okay. So this is how it looks like. Writing answer sheet, module, academic. This is for task 1. Examiners use only, so you're not supposed to write below this dark line here. So there are 2 sheets for task 1. You'll have to write 150 words. And I want you to study the answer sheet and take a look at how examiners think. What did they mark? What did they write on your answer sheet? So there are 2 examiners, examiner 1, examiner 2. What are these? These are the writing task 1 criteria. TA is task achievement. CC is coherence and cohesion. LR is lexical resource or vocabulary. GRA is grammatical range and accuracy. So there, TA, CC, LR, GRA, and they give you a band score for each. All right. This is the reason why I will be asking you to answer a pre-assessment, because I want to see how you write. Okay, and then I'll try my best to assign a band score for your writing at this point. All right, and then after training, I'm also going to give you a post-assessment, see how much you have improved, hopefully. Okay, and then here, notice, okay, under length. You have to write a minimum of 150 words. What if, Anna, I wrote 149? Yeah, is there a penalty for that? Definitely. See that? Penalty. Okay. Off topic. You wrote really well, but then your answer is off topic. Okay, so there's a penalty for that. Memorized. Okay. There are a lot of suggested phrases online. Okay, how to start your paragraph, how to lengthen your writing, your task one, task, and so on. But examiners are trained to identify if parts of your writing are simply memorized by the candidate. Okay, so what do they do with that? They count the number of words that they think that you memorized and subtract that from the total number of words that you wrote. Okay, so that's what they do. Now, also, if you're taking the paper-based test, I want to see how you write, because you have to write legibly. Okay, because there's a penalty for writing illegibly. Okay, see that? And then for task 2, you have to write a minimum of 250 words. So same thing, the only difference is the first criterion. In task 1, it's TA, task achievement. In task 2, writing task 2, it's TR, or task response. That's the only difference there. I'll explain to you the criteria later on. Any questions so far? So use the answer sheet, especially for the pre-assessment and mock tests. Okay, and then later on, you may simply use any sheet of paper that resembles the answer sheet. I'll show you how my other students do it. Questions so far?
I'm good.
Okay, you don't have to read everything here. Some of my students complain to me, there's too many materials here. They're simply for your reference. Okay,
Mhm.
all right. So feel free to explore them. Okay, so I'm done sharing with you Cambridge materials. I have more, all right? Let's say you've finished everything in the Cambridge series. I have more. All right, and then I shared with you our online library materials. Now let me show you my students' folders. I'm going to create the same, a folder for each of you too. Okay, maybe later I'll do that. IELTS Anna. Whiteboard. Actually, there. So these are my accounts. I'm on a platform called Preply, preply.com. This is an online learning platform. So here I actually charge a lot, 20 US dollars per hour. All right. But for you guys, okay. Yours is a package, all right. Where am I? Okay, students. So IELTS Anna. Let's take a look at what's inside. Because the needs of my students are actually not the same, each of my students' folders contain, different files, but a minimum of four files. Let's see. There, one file, I'm just trying to look for a good example here. This one is for my Preply students. Okay. So file number 1 is a study planner. Okay, well, what's a study planner? So you have at the bottom, you will see the different tabs there. students' information, assessment and practice course. Make sure to click on hyperlinks. For instance, here is a conversion link to the conversion table. Oops. Ooh, what's wrong? I realized that not all of my students who enrolled in an online class or online program know how to use the computer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, so I realized that I have to at least orient you on yeah, what tools I use online, how to use them. This is what I don't like about Zoom. How do I? Assessment. Do you guys know what score you need in listening and reading so that you get a band 7?
I'm not sure.
IELTS conversion table. So you may actually just Google them.
Okay.
Here's a sample conversion table. It's not the same for every test. It actually depends on the level of difficulty of the test on test day. So sometimes, yeah, they adjust. All right, here. This is for academic listening. All right, you see here the band's raw score, and then next column is band score, raw score, band score. So a perfect score of 40 is band 9, 39 to 40 is band 9. 7 is around 30 to 31 points out of 40. Okay. So what I ask my students to do is always aim for a higher score, a higher band score. So yeah. So if you're aiming for 7, aim for 32 or 33 so that okay, you'll get at least 7.5 on test day or even higher. If you can make it perfect during your practice course, then do so. For reading, so same, 40 is band 9. See the difference? 39, 38, 8.5. 37 to 39, 8.5. 7 is 30 to 32. Usually it's like that. Occasionally, 30 could be 6.5. Okay, so aim for 33 points or higher. Okay, 7.5 when you practice. So that this is a sample conversion table. Going back to the study planner. How do I minimize this? You know, guys, I'm not very proficient with Zoom myself. No. Yeah. I started using Skype and I got too comfortable with Skype, and then all of a sudden everybody's using Zoom, so I had to learn it.
I see.
Yeah. So pardon me if but I'm learning. Okay, and then so basically this is a tool that you can use to plan your time, your study time. Okay, so just I'll give you access to your folder as an editor, which means that you can revise or add your own notes. Okay.
Okay.
All right. The succeeding tabs contain outlines, right? Sample outlines. For instance, this is for speaking, which means these are the things, the topics that you need to study. Okay, for instance, speaking. So there's an overview. What is the speaking subtest? What is the structure, assessment criteria, and so on and so on. Why is it important to think like an examiner? Okay, everything you need to know about part 1, strategy for part 2, everything you need to know about part 3, and then yeah, study the individual assessment criteria and so on. There is I usually add links that you can go to, so click on that and access the necessary file. So same for listening, you have an outline there. And then reading, writing task 1, task 2, or simply go here. There. So that's the first file in your folder. But some of my students, they don't use this anymore. Okay. Whiteboard. I now call the whiteboard as class notes. Okay, not whiteboard anymore. So what's inside? Basically, it's like an online notebook. This is where I write down notes, write down your details of the lesson, reminders, homework, what's next, and so on. Okay. Do you guys use Google Doc? So this is Google Doc. There.
Okay.
If you haven't, then yeah. So here's a sample lesson. MUC means makeup class. Topics discussed. So our topic was task 1, writing. That's writing task 1. Okay, and then I usually add hyperlinks just to help you guys and make it easier for you. So if you click on that, there you will see the file here somewhere. So this is actually best with using a computer. Okay. So the details are here, structures, and so on. More. And there. So this just this is like working with a Word. Okay. There are more links. Recommendations for improvement. This student Maciek, I think he's Ukrainian or Polish. He's improved a lot. He's improved a lot actually. From 6, his band score jumped to almost an 8. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Why? He's very religious. When I tell him something, for instance, you got to do this for your introduction, you got to do this for the body paragraphs and so on. He really does it sentence by sentence, and then he shows me.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not easy. There, and then I include, and then he has issues with his grammar. Okay. For instance, sentence structure, sentence errors. So I tell him, you got to study sentence structures because blah, blah, blah. Study sentence errors because, and so on. Okay, so he does that. So Anna, is it really possible for your writing band score to jump at least one band score or two for nurses like me? Yes, it is possible. Okay, but you gotta, it is possible, but you gotta do what I tell you to do.
Sure.
Yeah, and you gotta spend time developing your skills. Okay. Mhm. What else? Next. So so there's one for writing task 1, task 2, assessment. Let's take a look at Machek's assessment here. So he typed his answers here. I think he's taking the, or he took the computer delivered test. If you're taking the computer delivered test, then you don't have to write on paper, because on test day you will be typing your answers. The good thing about CDT is that there's an automatic word count for the writing part. For paper-based tests, there's none. You'll have to count the number of words.
No.
Yeah. I'm not scaring you guys. Okay, so this is his writing task 1. And as you can see, I made corrections there, and you will see the comments and what I did there on the rightmost column. This is for writing task 2. This is a question task. So same thing. He writes his essay, and then the text in blue are my comments. So my comments are per paragraph. So I start with the introduction, and then see that. And then I also comment per assessment criterion. Okay. By the way, always include the question task when submitting task 1 and task 2. So I will also ask you to do the same. Okay.
Okay.
IELTS is a highly structured test. So you have to understand the structure and follow the structures prescribed. You cannot write the way that you're, have you ever written an essay before during
Yes.
your college days or high school days? Some people have never written an essay.
Yeah, yes,
Well,
we do.
well, 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 I haven't even taken one international exam before, and I wrote an essay. That is
Okay.
the SAT.
Oh, that's
Yeah, but
wonderful.
that was a long time ago. I think that was in 2014 or 2013.
Yeah,
2014, 15, I think.
that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Okay, let me show you sample works of my students. So this is a question task from Cambridge 14.2 means test 2, writing task 2. This is by Nina. So in this case, so here's the question task. So she writes her essay, but as you notice, I don't make much corrections anymore. This is because I've seen her develop as a writer. Okay, what I do is just to give her a band score. Okay, there. She's only an incoming college student. Incoming,
Okay.
but take a look at her scores. 3
Impressive.
7s. Okay, how to get 7, Anna? This is so this is an averaging system. 7 plus 7 plus 7, 21 plus 6, 20,
27.
27.
7.
Okay, divided by 4. Can you help me out? There's
That's
a
not
rounding
like,
off system. There's a rounding off system in IELTS.
12.
that's like 6 point something.
Calculator.
That
It's
is like
6.75.
6 point something. Yeah, I'm not sure 6 how.
6.75.
6
It's
point.
6.75.
I've been
75.
teaching IELTS for a long time. I still haven't memorized. Okay, 6.75. And because this is task 2, what is the weight of task 2? Task 2 is 67, approximately 33%. Yeah, it's approximately 70% of your writing band score. All right. So times 0.67, I think. Okay. And then whatever the answer here, you add to the answer for your band score for task 1. Okay. And then you get your writing band score. That's how it works. Okay, but anyways, so Anna, does it mean that I just need to focus on writing task 2, the essay, for a minimum of 250 words? No, you gotta do equally well in task 1. Okay. All right. Now for the assessment, okay, I want you to do the same, okay, just like what Nina did, but use pencil, a good pencil, eraser. Okay, try to answer within the given, but if you want to extend, that's perfectly fine with me. So write it on paper and then take a picture just like this. But I would request that you also type for the purposes of correction. Okay, so I can correct. But for Nina's case, I did not correct anymore because we already discussed her assessment, writing assessment, before we transferred to this file. So you can do this. This is task 2. Nina, I think she wanted to study in Canada or the UK. I don't recall anymore. And she really wanted to improve her writing. So I gave her just a few short lectures for listening and reading. And then I asked her to just practice, try to answer as many practice tests for listening and reading, and then make sure that I told her to make sure that you understand where you're making mistakes, okay, so that you don't repeat the same mistakes over and over. And then I asked her to report her scores to me, so I'm able to monitor her progress. But we focused more on writing. So we can do the same, all right? We can do the same. So as you can see here, Nina wrote a lot of essays. I don't actually check them anymore, all right? But when I see something that, I feel needs to be corrected, then I do so. For instance, spelling, there. Why? Spelling falls under LR, lexical resource, vocabulary. Okay. So when I see something major in her writing, that's the time I correct. There. She started, she's a strong writer. Yeah, Nina.
Okay, Nina was or is she still your student?
She
Or she
was my student. Yeah,
was
she's
okay.
done taking the IELTS. She
Okay.
doesn't need me anymore.
And how long does it take her to take the IELTS?
Nina, sorry, what's your question again?
I mean, how long did it take her? Or how long did it take her to complete the studies and then finally getting on the to do the test?
Let me recall. I don't have students, or it's very rare for my students to last more than 2 months.
Oh,
On average, yeah,
I love that
rare.
sound.
That's very
It's rare.
impressive.
Yeah. I think Nina was with me for around 1 month or a month and a
Wow.
half. And we only trained maybe twice or 3 times a week.
Okay, that's okay.
Just for the lessons and feedback. Okay. And
Yeah.
then offline, she did a lot of work that I asked her to do. Answer this, write your essay, send it to me. That's how it works. Okay. And then once I get her, well, my students' essays, so I correct, I comment, I give scores, and then I return to the students. Sometimes I ask my students to rewrite. Okay, sometimes not anymore. So the good thing about that's actually what it's popularly known as writing correction service, but it's already part of your package. Okay. So Gagan here, she's Indian. Okay. She's already in Canada, but she needed a higher band score. And when I assessed her, she's not as strong as Nina, but they're of more or less the same age. So what did Gagan's major problem area was her foundations in English, like grammar, comprehension, reading comprehension, listening comprehension. But for you guys, because you're nurses, I assume that your comprehension is good or above average. Am I correct?
Yeah,
Something
we
like that.
hope so.
That's my assumption. Or otherwise, you wouldn't be able to finish your course in the first place.
Sure. That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, so what did I do with Gagan? I asked her, well, we went back to basics, okay? And I gave her some tasks, which I customized just for her. I created worksheets for her. And we did it part by part. If I need to do the same for you, I will do so. So we
I
started
hope you
with,
wouldn't need that.
yeah, you pray that I will always have strength to, have
Sure.
classes, check emails. But during these
Sure.
times, yeah, working from home is actually more tiring, I realized, than, working
Oh,
in an office. Yeah, so we
okay.
started with writing strong introductions, not just introductions, but strong introductions. And we did it step by step. Okay, so we identified parts of the question task, make sure that we covered all parts, we don't leave anything behind. Okay, and then we paraphrased, we listed down synonyms, related ideas, and then we tried to use them, come up with paraphrases. Now, this guideline here, It's something I created for my students because personally, this is how I do it. Okay, for instance, in writing task 2, you only have 40 minutes to write your essay. So how do you break down the 40 minutes? Okay, that's 1 minute. You have 1 minute to read the question, write notes, underline, and circle keywords. 1 minute only, Anna? That's the reason you're preparing. And maybe at first you're slow, but as you
Yeah.
get used to it, okay, it becomes automatic to you. So you actually do it faster. 5 minutes for outlining, or why so many minutes just for the outline? Later on, I'll explain to you why it's for me, this is the most important part of the 40 minutes. You writing down your ideas, writing down your vocabulary, your synonyms, and so on. So the first 6 minutes you spend for planning what to write, understanding the question before you even start to write your introduction. See that? Because most of my students, they delve into writing right away without even thinking, what is the question asking me to do? That's the reason students fail. That's one of the reasons students do not get band 7 in the first place. And what I realized is, or perhaps, okay, this is just my personal opinion, nurses in particular. Okay, my nurses in particular, especially in the Philippines. Okay, I'm not saying for you guys, but here in the Philippines, my nurses here are lazy.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think that's for all nurses in there.
You think so? And okay, another sickness or very common sickness among my nurses, they're apathetic with what's going on around them, the issues around them.
Oh, yeah.
You know what apathetic means?
Mm-hmm.
They don't
No,
care.
didn't care.
But ask them, if I ask them about, if the question is about, let's say, what's the relation between, let me see, international relations and tourism? My nurses would go, they just stare at me. But ask them about technology. Well, no, ask them about mobile phones and the latest gadgets, the latest models. Oh, they know everything. Yeah,
Well, I'm guessing that that part could be general, maybe.
for everyone.
It
For
could it
it's a global
it it,
sickness.
it could be.
Yeah,
Because
so
I know like many nurses in the Gambia, you ask them stuff related to health, they will talk about it. But the moment you go out of the health topic or anything that is not related to health, they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. So it's crazy.
yeah.
I think I was like that until I started hearing about this IELTS. So I kind of started venturing into certain things, but before the scope was very narrow. It's just health, and nothing else.
I must admit I was like that during my younger days too. But that's part of growing up, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe so. Mhm.
But then there are people who are way past their growing up years and they're
Mhm.
still apathetic.
Yeah.
Right?
Indeed true. Yeah.
Even with the lives of their patients, like they seem distant. So you
Mhm.
know what? In the Philippines, I used to hold classes here
Okay.
face to face. I would have there was a time I would have an average of 50 students in one class, all
Wow.
nurses. Okay, all nurses.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I would ask them during getting to know. I would ask them, uh, uh, I would ask them, is this your first choice, nursing? Your first choice for a course? Or is this your second choice? Okay. And then another question that I would ask them is, do you really like to be in this course, nursing? Okay. And then for that particular question, only 2 out of the 50 would say, yes, this is my first choice and I want to become a nurse. The rest, the 48,
Oh my
okay,
God.
they have a variety of answers like, oh, because my mom is in the US and it's easy for nurses to go there.
I see.
I
Yeah.
think that's a general reason because most of us we just join nurses to travel. Yeah, it's not, most of the nurses join because they want to travel. Others, but for person to say I love nursing and I'm doing it, there are very few.
But that was cool before IELTS, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
since
Before I
these English-speaking countries started to require IELTS, okay, it became uncool to take up nursing. Why? The pass rate is less than 10% for all 7. Well, at least that's
No.
for the first time that they take the IELTS.
Yes.
But for some, I wouldn't say for many. Okay, for some, after they train or they get themselves trained, they're able to get an all 7 or even higher. But in my statistics, it's not that many. Some people need just let's say 2 weeks more to study. Some people 1 month more, some 3 months, 6 months. The others need years to
Wow.
actually develop their skills for IELTS for band 7. Yeah, that's true. I have so many stories, real life stories. Okay, going back to Gagan. All right, see that? So I gave her well, structures that she can use. Okay, and then I asked her to use them. There. Mhm. Synonyms: students, learners, compare and contrast, conditionals. All right, let me show you something. So at least now you have a glimpse of what to expect. All right. Okay, you see that? Speaking strategies. I created these files for my students. Oh, I need access. Okay, anyways. And once I share these to you, please do not share to anyone. Well, you can share to your wife, to your sister, to your mom. That's perfectly understandable. What I mean is,
Yeah.
non-paying students.
Sure.
Because these are, well, it's up to you. Just don't tell me. Okay. This speaking strategies targeting bands 8 or 9. Okay, so that's a lot better than band 7, right? So I have a few reminders here. Use the magic 3 technique. Each part is mandatory. However, you can play around with the order of the structures. I think there, minimize. Finally. Structure, be organized. There should be a beginning, a middle, and an end. The goal is not to speak as much as you can, okay, but to speak cohesively in a fluent way using high-level vocabulary and grammar. Okay, now if you take a look at this, you will not find this anywhere online. You will not find this anywhere online. So please guard this file with your life. All right, part 1 in speaking. Okay. This is the structure P-E-E-E. There's an alternative there. Signposting words. What type of grammar or sentence structures do you use? Okay. And so on. I will ask you guys to study these. These are advanced structures in IELTS. Why? Why do you have to use them? What's the name of the table, Bubakar?
The table,
Yeah.
it says point scoring attributes.
Point scoring attributes. Yep.
Yeah. Basis of high band score.
Basis for high band score. Now, your examiner listens to you, okay? Tries to look for a basis to award you a band 7, but couldn't hear them, couldn't find them, okay? And asks you more questions, prompts you to speak some more, but still, you're not saying what she wants to hear from you. Do you think that you will get band 7 if there is no basis to award you that band score? No. That, of course, no basis, then what? Your examiner will just invent the band score? Of course not. All right, but this one is not just for 7, this is for high band score. All right. This is for part 2. So all the important elements for you to get a good band score are here. Okay. KES means key exam, I forgot, key exam skills. For speaking, actually also for writing, you have to, even if your examiner does not ask you to make comparison or contrast or to provide problem solutions and so on, you have to show these to her or to him. Compare and contrast, identifying problems and solutions, developing opinions and reasons, expressing doubt and probability, speculation. We will discuss them one by one. All right. What is to speculate? If you don't know, this will be your homework. Yeah.
Speculation. I think it's more like a rumor, sort of.
What? Sorry?
A rumor. Like there's some people saying that I had this, or another person say I had that, I had this. So they're speculating about something.
Yeah, it's close. Your answer is close. Speculate. To speculate is to imagine yourself to be in a situation, or if like let's say you're asked a question, describe your dream house. So you don't actually have that house, but maybe in the future, okay, how would you like to, what would you like your dream house to be?
To be.
Yeah, okay. Or let's say talking about jobs, do you see yourself staying in this job for a long time? Do you see yourself to be a nurse in the next 10 years? So you'll have to speculate.
Speculate, yeah.
Yeah, all right. And then question 1, question 2, question 3, and so on. All right, I just want you to, and then here's the developing opinion, how to, okay, how to answer the questions in part 3. I want you, as you do your readings, okay, that would be your homework. I've shared to you my materials, but this particular file is not shared to you. I'll give this to you when we, yeah, when we discussed, after we have discussed the individual lessons here. Okay, this is like the summary for coaching purposes. You know, I have a nurse. Okay, yeah, I had a nurse. Most of my nurses coming from Gambia or Ghana, they've usually have taken the IELTS already, and they failed one or two areas. That's why they came to me. But this particular nurse, he only took the IELTS once, but he was with me for I think 4 or 5 months before he actually took the test. And he was sure, Anna, I think I'm ready. Yeah, he was the one who told me, Anna, I want to take the IELTS already. Are you sure? I said. And yeah, you know, when I first assessed him in speaking, he was only about a 6.
No.
But in the actual test, he got 7. My
That's
problem
good.
with him was fluency. He spoke well, quite slowly. Not he needed to speak faster so that he can say more, demonstrate his vocabulary and ideas more. When you speak faster, you're able to say more, right? And also
Yeah.
because there's the local accent. All right, his accent was quite strong, so that was my problem with him. But I told him, make sure that most of what you say are clear to the examiner and captured in the recording. Yeah, you don't need the native speaker accent, like to speak like just neutral accent is fine. Like my accent is neutral. Huh? Make sure that your listener understands you. Okay.
Yeah.
For band 7, okay, you got to understand the demands of band 7. You can make mistakes at band 7. In fact, you don't need highfalutin, highly advanced vocabulary to get a band 7. You just need to be clear and complete. Keep that in mind. All right.
Sure.
Okay, that's it for today.
Okay.
Any
Okay.
questions? Okay, I don't know how to show. I wanted to see you guys.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Really?
unfair. You saw me, but I didn't see you. Can you turn on your camera?
Okay.
Okay.
How long do you guys have you known each other? Oh, all right. So that's how you look.
Yeah.
I thought
Okay.
how long have you known each other?
I think since 2015, January 2015.
About
Yeah,
6
January
years
2015.
now.
We
All
are in
right.
the
Well,
same model
nice to
school.
see you. Nice to meet you
Thank you,
guys.
Anna.
Thank you.
I hope you learned something today, and I hope.
Yes.
Oh,
Indeed.
okay. You, answer Cambridge 14 test 1.
Test one.
Cambridge.
Okay.
So
Just test
test
1.
one.
Listening,
Okay.
reading,
Writing
writing.
online.
Okay.
Okay. When do you think you can send your answers to me? So just simply follow the instructions. All the instructions are there. All right.
Okay.
If you have any questions, let me know. For
So,
speaking assessment, we'll have to do it one by one.
so what's
Okay.
when is the next lesson?
You two talk to each other, and then you let me know.
Okay, no problem.
Because you wanted to study together. Yeah.
Okay.
I think small group classes are fun. Don't you
Yeah,
think
it's
so?
There.
I
Yeah,
think
it's
so.
Maybe we will speak to Salu. He may also want to join. I'm not sure if the time will favor him. Hence,
You talk to him.
his
Yeah.
wife might join as well. So I don't know
Sure.
the
Sure.
time. This
Okay.
is a bit late here.
Talk to him. Talk to Saliu. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Talk to
Yeah.
him and you coordinate amongst yourselves and then let me know when you want
Sure.
to yeah. So just small group classes are okay as long as you have strong internet there.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yes.
Is there any possibility for the Cambridge, the answer part, like when you're doing your correction once you did a test, is there any possibility that they might have it wrong in their answer sheet?
I'm sorry again that they may
They may got it wrong, like the Cambridge, they will give you at the end, towards the end of the book, you have the correction.
In my
So
experience, the answer key is usually accurate.
okay.
However, in some books, in some answer keys, not all possible answers are there.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's say your answer, if you're not sure or you think that your answer is correct, but it's not in the answer key, let me know. Let me know.
Yeah, sure, I will now. Hence, I have somebody to show. Then it was just me, and then there was this answer which I was so certain of my answer, and it was different from the Cambridge answer. So I was like, okay,
Right.
I think it was me and you were telling me that the answer is
exactly,
wrong.
exactly.
Okay. What
Okay,
else?
thank
What
you, Anna.
else?
Mm,
By the way, for listening and reading, I usually tell this to my students after assessment, but I want to tell this to you right now. Write in all capital letters. So when you transfer your answers onto your answer sheet, write in all caps. Okay?
That is the listening and and
Listening
writing.
and reading only.
Listening and reading. Okay, okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's it.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Bye,
And
guys. Oh,
I'm sorry. Before you go, the time okay? Let's say for our next class.
same time?
Yes.
9, 8. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Then we'll discuss and then we'll let you know when we can have the next class. And then I think we will see if we can do this within 2 days or within a day, maybe tomorrow, and see.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, thank
Or
you.
Thank you
best.
for the.
Oh, all right.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say for most of my students, we do it 3 or 4 times a week.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want to have a class tomorrow.
No. I didn't mean to have a class tomorrow. I'm talking of the assignment.
Oh,
Everything.
yeah. Hopefully you turn in your assessment answers before our next class.
Okay,
Yes.
we'll do that.
All right.
Sure. Okay.
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 By the
Okay,
way,
thank you.
Jallo,
Mm-hmm.
hello. Have you
Yes.
heard
Yes.
from MoneyGram?
No. The operator tells me that they will be doing the process today, and it's already at night here.
Okay.
Yeah, but I will update you the moment. I'll do that. Let's say tomorrow when I wake up, I will text him and then see.
Thank
Whatever the
you
case
so
might be,
much.
I'll update you, inshallah.
Thank you so much.
Okay. I will also try and do my payment today when I wake up. I'll
Yeah,
do
make
it.
sure that for my first name, it's Anna Maria. Okay.
Okay, no
No
problem.
extra letters, no extra characters. Last name,
Okay.
Helis.
Helis. Okay.
Hello,
Mm.
please
Java.
teach him.
Yes, I did. I did that yesterday.
He already told me about that.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Right. Thank
So,
you.
Bye.
bye.
Okay. I don't know how to end it.